Wolfpack fans, and welcome to Wolfpack Watch. I'm Doug Wood, your host and voice of the Wolfpack, and here our weekly segment with Coach Jones to discuss the games that we've played recently and the upcoming game next week. Coach Jones, nice to have you with me again.
Thanks again.
Coach, we've had a lot going on since the last time you and I have talked. Game against Cherokee here at home, and then most recently the game at Hillgrove to kick off the region schedule. Let's first hit the Cherokee game. It was a 32-0 shutout, fourth shutout of the year, made us 5-0, 4 shutouts out of 5 games. Talk a little bit about that game and what you saw.
Well, I mean, we came out and defense again played extremely well, and obviously with a shutout. But week in and week out, we're going to be leaning on those guys to get it done. And we were in the same place last year at 5-0 after that game, so took care of business, and that's where we needed to be.
Yeah, it was a dominating effort, and I know that in the second half you put a lot of reserves and second and third string players in there. It was good to get them in the game. First half, the defense just completely dominated the line of scrimmage. It looked like Cherokee had so much trouble moving the ball, even with the big skill positions that you mentioned in our last discussion. And the offense seemed to be clicking quite a bit in that first half. We seem to be moving the ball pretty good.
We did. Offense took care of business, and you're right. We did get the second half get to play a lot more players and younger kids, and get a little bit of experience out there. So those are games you like to play.
And then most recently here, Friday night, we were at Hillgrove to kick off our region schedule. And unfortunately, we took our first loss on a very, very close game, lost 16-14 to a very, very talented Hillgrove squad. Talk a little bit about the overview of that game. Give us your thoughts first, and then I'll ask you a few specifics.
Well, I mean, it's a hard-fought game. I mean, it's going to come down to the end, and somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, and two very close athletically teams, and it came down to it didn't come down to any one play. I mean, we you can't play a team like Hillgrove and turn the ball over, and we had some drop balls and had a couple of penalties that hurt us. So there were some things that hurt us, but as far as the fight in our kids, it was there, and it was there all night long, and I'm very, very proud of them.
Well, it had to be with the game being that close. I know they took the lead initially. We came back and took a 1-point lead. They then took another lead, and we took a 1-point lead at half. And then there's only 3 points scored the rest of the game. Right. That second half, the defenses must just been on point for both teams.
Well, and it's nice to have shutouts, but we knew going into this game here, if we could keep, Hillgrove less than 21, that we'd have a chance. And so, keeping them at 16 is, they're averaging 40 points a game going into that game. So I'm very proud of our kids. Played hard, and that's just the way the ball rolls. We got to get ready for the next one.
Offensively, I know we only put up 14 points, and I was looking on the board over here to my left. Looks like we lost the turnover battle, we lost the rushing battle, and we lost the what was the other one over here? As I look, any one of those areas we win that battle, you think we win that game, or was it just that close that the minutia of the issues that we either didn't convert on a third down, or a lost fumble here or there that get turned a field position? Any one of those things turn the game?
Well, I replayed the game in my head 10 times now, and there's all kind of plays here and there. If we'd have done this or that that's football, and they made plays when they had to, and if they didn't, it would be a different story. But we have a stat chart over there, and certainly if we didn't win one of those categories, then if we had won one of those categories, it probably would have made a difference. If we'd have rushed the ball better, if we didn't have turnovers, you just got to limit your mistakes and against anybody, but especially a team that's on our same level, And so Hillgrove, I think I counted on the fence over there. They had 35, 36 seniors, and it's a very, very experienced football team, and ours is too. And so that's just two teams going head to head, and it was a great game. I just hated to come out on the short end of it.
Absolutely. And then at the end, it appears that we were set up for a field goal, and not taking anything away from individually, but talk little bit about, what was the stress level of the team, and what the excitement was. If we make that, we win. Unfortunately, it got blocked, and we take the loss. But talk about the excitement at the end of that game, knowing that play, I know it didn't mean the win or loss in the end, but you make that, we walk away. We get it blocked, and
yeah, I mean, it comes down to that. I mean, and it is what it is. It didn't come down to that play.
Right.
So, they did a good job jumping up. Had a guy in the center jump straight up and got his hand on the ball. And unfortunate for us, but it was a great play on their part. But very exciting. It was the hair was standing on the back of all of our necks out there. But I'm just proud of the kids. I'm glad we had a chance there at the end to win it. But time to regroup and get ready for the next one.
Right, and that's one of the things that I wanted to mention here. You talk about all the games that we had played before and the level of competition, and it may or may not have been as good as what we just faced. Obviously, Hillgrove was a good team, averaging 40 points a game. Win or lose, I have to assume that you and the coaching staff look at this as a chance to learn from the mistakes, get better against a very, very good, talented team, senior-laden team, and know that what you have to do for the next 4 games to make this a successful season and hit the playoffs, right?
Yeah, that's right. Well, we've talked about it in our coaches' meetings that the play in Hillgrove was going to tell us a lot about ourselves, what kind of football team we got. So, win, lose, or draw, we were going to get something from that game. And so we did, and we can't put all of our eggs in that one basket. It's over with. Let's move forward. And, we can't sweat over it. What's done is done. We can't look back. We got to look forward. And so we got to get ready for every game we play is important because they're region games. But, we got North Cobb, very, very athletic, talented team coming up, and we got to get ready for them and forget about Hillgrove.
Let's talk a little bit about that. Here, Friday at the Den, we have homecoming against North Cobb. They just lost a tough game, I believe, at home against McEachern 27-21. And you guys are going to go over the film probably today of the last game that you guys both played, North Cobb and you, and look at some of their other games. What do you see? I know they're very talented from previous years that I've watched them play, how competitive they've been against us, even back in the middle school years, and the talent they have at that level. Talk a little bit about what you expect Friday night.
Well, I expect them to bring it. They played very well against McEachern, very physical team, fast, and they run around great. Their athleticism jumps out of the film, and so I know that Coach Queen's gonna have those guys ready to go, and we got to match it.
Any particular area you're worried about more than anything else? I know they have a talented quarterback. They have excellent skill position people. And then on defense, I know they've got linebackers that run all over the place. Any particular area that you've got a key on, or is this pretty much knowing the talent of North Cobb, you're worried about everything?
Well, you just got to be ready for everything. I mean, they do a great job with the kicking game, and offensively, they're going to put points on the board and have been doing it all year long. And defensively, I'm just telling you, they run around so good. We've got to be ready in every department.
And I know you're taking one game at a time, but the next 2 games are crucial. We got McEachern coming up after that, then the last 2 games at Kennesaw Mountain and Marietta. You're 0-1 leading off the region schedule, but it's not a death sentence at this point by any stretch of the imagination. I can't imagine you guys thought you'd go through region play undefeated, so you take 1 loss on the road, come back here. I assume you're looking forward to having a crowd in your favor, playing a tough team, knowing that you've got to play your best to win this game. Talk about what kind of environment you'd love to see out here Friday night.
Well, I know it's going to be electric. It always is here at the Den. And North Cobb, they travel great. They've got a spirited fan base too. So it's going to be fun for everybody. But we've got to get focused and not have too many distractions during the week, but enjoy it too.
Absolutely. One of the last things I'll ask you, and I had talked to a couple of people in the past couple weeks, our producer Jeff Harkins and Keith Johnson, our radio guy, our music guy on Friday nights. The last time we talked, we talked about the injuries, and I have now committed that I'm not going to ask you about injuries any longer because of what happened shortly after our conversation with our super talented wideout and running back Brian Mitchell. How is he doing? I know he's had surgery.
Yeah,
How are things going with
he
him?
had surgery, and he's probably out for the season, regular season. But we'll just have to wait and see. But more important than that is surgery went well, and he's going to heal up just fine. And ain't the end of the world whether he plays here or not, but it would be if he wasn't healthy. So we're glad he is, and really enjoy seeing that smiling face because he's always smiling on the sideline out here. So can't wait till he heals up completely and gets back with us.
Well, ironically, it was that week that we interviewed him and Easton Murphy as the players, and then he gets hurt right after that. And I told Jeff and Keith, I said, I'm not asking about that question. So I literally am not asking you any more questions about injuries, so you won't have to address that. I'm not going to jinx anything else. Well, Coach, we look forward to a good game here in the Den, and hopefully we come out with a victory. We'd love to be 1-1 and 6-1 overall and position ourselves well for the last 3 games. I want to thank you for joining us, and let's look forward to a rowdy Friday night coming up here on homecoming against North Cobb here in the Den. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
We'd like to thank Perfect Turf for supporting Wolfpack Football. Welcome back to Wolfpack Watch. With me now is senior right tackle, number 54, Chesley Landrum. Chesley, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
6 games into the season, you're 5-1, coming off a disappointing, heartbreaking loss at Hillgrove. Give me your thoughts on the season so far, where we're at.
We've had a good season so far. It was a tough loss, but we played hard. We gave it everything we had. At the end of the day, they just beat us.
Tough play at the end there with the blocked field goal, I know, losing by 2 points and knowing that field goal would have given us a sort of a walk-off win. You're a senior this year. You're 6 games into your senior year. I know you've played with this program all 4 years, even back through middle school and stuff like that. You've got 4 regular season games left and hopefully some playoff games here coming soon. Tell me what your thoughts are as you enter sort of the twilight of your high school career.
Man, it's gone by fast. It really has.
You've got 4 games left in the season, playoffs to come after that. What are you looking forward to the most as we ramp through the rest of the region schedule?
Probably senior night. It's going to be a great atmosphere. It's crazy to think about the senior night, but
And senior night comes up here in 2 weeks against McEacher. And next week we got homecoming. Are you on the homecoming court, Chesley?
No, I'm not.
No, he's not on the homecoming court. I know we have several, but I'm not sure if any football players actually made it. How far do you think this team can go once we get into the playoffs?
The playoffs, this is a very good, sound football team, It's hard to say now, I don't want to say all the way because we lost last week, but I honest to God thought we could go all the way.
I talked to Coach before I interviewed you, and I said, you're 0-1 in region play. It's by no means a death sentence. You win this game, you're right back in the thick of things at 1-1. You got North Cobb coming up. I know they're a physical defense. What are you looking for when you're on that offensive line and going up against some of the talent that they're going to bring on Friday night?
I'm looking for do you mean what they're going to do against us?
Individually or even as a team scheme-wise?
I think they're going to come at us with some stunts, some crazy stunts, because they've seen us on film. Sometimes we get messed up by X's and blitzes, NCAA blitzes off one side. So I think they're going to run a lot of those. But
as far as what you remember from the past, I know we played them on the road last year, and it was a tough loss that we took over there. And I know the talent was even just about as good last year, and I know you started. Any particular individual that you're going to be facing this weekend, this next week, that you're going to have to bring your A game for?
I'm going to be playing TJ Gathers. I think he's a good defensive end, but it's going to be a good battle. Oh,
absolutely. He is a big-time talent over there. I'll give you the last question. And I know, you're in your senior season. You're now going to be, a 4-year player on this program. You're looking to go to the next level. What are you looking forward to after you get done with your North Paulding High School career as far as football and education is concerned?
I'm actually not going to be playing college football. I'm just going to be going and getting my degree in some kind of engineering, hopefully.
Oh, that's awesome. Excellent. All right. Well, Chesley, I'd like to thank you for joining us this week. And good luck on Friday night against North Cobb here in the Den. We're going to have a lot of Rowdy fans out here cheering you guys on.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for joining us. Wolfpack Football would like to thank Happy Hog for feeding all of our players and being our Dinner on the Deck sponsors for the 2017 season. Welcome back to Wolfpack Watch. With me now is left guard number 56, Reid Wilson. Reid, thanks for joining me.
Nice to be here.
Reid, we're 5-1, coming off our first loss of the season, 16-14 over at Hillgrove. Give me your thoughts on the season so far as for the first 6 games. What do you think?
I mean, it's been a good season. I think we've prepared a lot, and I think despite what happened last game, I think we can take it to the house.
Talk about the game at Hillgrove the other night. We were, setting up for that field goal at the end. We're one kick away, and I already talked to Coach Jones, so don't think that that's what I'm intimating, that play determined the outcome of the game, because it didn't. But what's the tension like? What's the mood with the team as you guys are setting up for that last field goal?
It was pretty hype. Like I was getting out there. I was like, "There's no way this guy's blocking it," and it was one of their linebackers. Jumped up over the line, which sometimes you just can't do anything about that. But I was ready for it. I believed 100% that we were going to make that.
So in other words, the guy just made a play, and there's not much you can do about it. And unfortunately, that determines the outcome at the end. Tough loss again. We've got 4 games left. North Cobb here at home on Friday night at homecoming. Tell us what you're looking for in that game. They've got a really good defense, a lot of athletic players. What are you looking forward to?
I'm looking for revenge from last year.
Okay.
I remember that feeling last year, and it's not going to happen again.
Revenge is good. North Cobb, a very talented team, and I don't think they beat us really bad last year, but it wasn't that close of a game from what I understand, if I remember correctly. This year, you're at home. We have the crowd with us. It's going to be homecoming. They're going to be amped up to beat us because any team that gets scheduled for homecoming thinks it's an insult. So therefore, they're going to be ready to beat us. Obviously, being a region game, they just came off a loss. You figure this is a knockdown drag-out Friday night, right?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be a dogfight.
Being here in the Den, we're going to have some rowdy fans. You looking forward to that?
Oh, yeah. The atmosphere is just amazing here. And that's what gets me like an extra edge.
Well, when I'm up in the press box, I'm going to make sure I get you that extra edge.
All right, good.
We've got 4 games left. You got McEachern and the 2 other teams in the region, Kennesaw Mountain and Marietta at the end. We've still got a chance to go 4-1, 9-1 overall, and I'm not saying that's what our record will be, but you want to position ourselves for the playoffs. How far do you think this team can go?
We can go all the way. We've worked hard in the offseason. We've worked our butts off. I solely believe we can go all the way.
This offensive line that you've played with, I know you're at least a 2-year starter. I can't remember if you started as a sophomore, but how together is this offensive line between you and Landrum and Roper and the other 2?
Oh, we're brothers. Me and Chesley spend 23 hours a day together. We're definitely brothers. We tell each other everything.
And I got a feeling that the way you work together is a definite success for this team. The fact that you guys know each other, probably know each other like the back of your hands, you know what each other's going to do, and that helps you guys prepare for the team you're going to play and make the individual play on that play when you need to make it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we know what each other's going to do before it even happens.
Good. You're coming up. You're a senior. You've got 4 regular season games left and whatever playoff games we've got left after that. Tell me what you're thinking as far as this becoming the end of your high school football career and your high school career as academic wise too.
It'd be my last season. I want to ball out. I just want to. I want to take it to the ship.
Any thoughts of you're going to miss this place, you'll miss the coaches, miss the team, and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I definitely will.
As far as your career after North Paulding, what are your plans? College, you going to stay in the sport and that kind of stuff?
Probably not. I think I'm going to try and go to the University of Georgia and get my degree there and just have a little fun in college,
All right. Well, that sounds like a good time. Maybe I can go with you.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little bit too far past that, though. Well, we want to thank you, Reid, for joining us. We look forward to the game upcoming this week here at the Den against North Cobb, and then we'll be back next week to review that game, preview the McEachern game, and let's hope we're talking next week after a victory. Thanks, Reid, for joining me.
Thank you.
All right.